Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Dankeschön. It's like the only German I know. Achtung? Achtung? Hey guys. My name's Connor if you're new. Hope everyone's doing well. Preemptive like. Germany observes first nationwide Nationwide Veteran Day amid peace protest. The first ever, wow. Obviously, there is stigma from World War II around Germany's military, but stigma from even the most horrible events can't be a curse upon the country that did it for generations. I mean, when do you stop? I don't think it's healthy for the country or countries like Japan as well, and I don't think it's healthy for or good for their allies as well. I mean, anyways, let's get started.
Now, Germany is observing its first nationwide Veterans Day this weekend, honouring over 10 million service members, past and present. It has been. Well, leaders like Defence Minister Boris Pistorius have praised the initiative as long overdue appreciation. Peace activists have called it militarism in its purest form. Away from the politics, the celebration is also about addressing the needs of veterans, especially those with lasting injuries or trauma.
Wait, are those peace activists saying there shouldn't be a Veterans Day or there shouldn't be a military parade? Because if it's the former, okay, I guess.
47-year-old veteran Michael is paying tribute to his fallen comrades. He has served in Kosovo, Bosnia and Afghanistan.
Here we've listed the names of those whom during our missions we laughed together, cried together, and fought together, but also died together. That makes it incredibly important and emotional.
Unglaublich wichtig und unglaublich emotional.
He's been working at this memorial for the past 10 years, sharing the stories of those who never made it home with visitors, foreign soldiers, veterans, civilians and school children. Germany has about 10 million veterans.
I think a lot of people just can't see an individual person who went through experiences like that with other countrymen of theirs, and they might see it and be like, oh, that's precious and should be honored. And then here it's Germany, and it's like, oh, World War II, Germany, Nazis. When do you not let that control how present day people live and celebrate the people in their military? It doesn't make sense to me. I understand it, but it's foolish and ignorant in a lot of ways. So
these school children. Germany has about 10 million veterans. This applies to any soldier who served honorably in the German armed forces, is currently in active service, or was discharged without loss of rank. Given Germany's role in the Second World War, having a strong military power was basically off limits for decades. Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine changed the way Germans think about their Bundeswehr. Former Chancellor Olaf Scholz spoke of a Zeitenwende, a turning point. Although German parliament launched the Veterans Day last year, it is the first time that it is celebrated nationwide.
You can
apply for the Veterans Badge as an official symbol that one has served. And I personally wish that more people would wear it, because it shouldn't be a disgrace to raise your hand and say, yes, I served my country, I gave something back.
What gave Michael strength was his family.
I'm grateful that my husband is still alive and that we still have each other. I was very lonely because I couldn't turn to anyone else with my fears and what we experienced during that time.
Es gibt
Many
viele
people
Menschen,
can't understand it,
die können es nicht nachvollziehen. Die haben
and they have no interest in asking questions.
auch mal nachzufragen,
So I felt very much
mich
abandoned.
sehr alleingelassen gefühlt.
In a country where pride in military service often came with discomfort or even shame, the introduction of Veterans Day marks a significant shift.
Our correspondent Ben Rieger was at the main event here in Berlin.
The closest thing that I can think of comparing it to in the U.S., of what I heard of her experience right there, obviously translated, I don't understand German, is maybe the Vietnam War, the families who had family members in that fought and either came back or died in Vietnam, and there was a lot of uproar, rightfully so, with a lot of atrocities and bombings and horrible things that America did in Vietnam. But Vietnam, we weren't subdued and conquered and beaten in a way that people could be held accountable for things we did in Vietnam, and people in charge who, if they had lost and had been completely subdued and conquered, would go up for war crimes and things. You can go to the Civil War, where obviously we have Confederates who defended slavery, and there is a lot of talk around that, but they are laid to rest and in cemeteries as just American soldiers, and you don't always have to. There are a lot of instances of America, like in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Vietnam, in Korea, a lot of places where we probably did some really horrible things. But if you aren't defeated and you quote win or at least are not conquered, then you won't have your feet held to the fire and put on trial and blamed. And so it just seems like countries that are defeated thoroughly, unconditional surrender, are then forced to look at all of their crimes, of which Germany did insane amounts of horrible things in World War II. Don't get me wrong, same with the Japanese. But there's this uncomfortableness I have with it, in that it feels like the world doesn't really care about making sure people are held responsible. It's just that they let the little information they know and the agendas they have to dictate what they say. And I think that's a lot of people. And it's uncomfortable for me. And I don't like it. You can't be held responsible for something people did generations ago forever. And I don't understand that.
Many institutions are here present at the Bundestag that take care of veterans' needs. There's a bikers club for veterans. There are several institutions that take care of health issues and financial aid. And there are, of course, doctors that deal with post-traumatic stress syndrome. Compared to the number of veterans, 10 million, the number of people that actually died in combat is relatively low, 120 in the last years, most of them in Afghanistan. 200 were severely injured and 1,500 are suffering from psychological issues. The Bundeswehr, the army in Germany, tries to present itself as a caretaking organization because it is in dire need of personnel. 60,000 soldiers are missing, and there's even a discussion about reinventing, re-establishing the draft in Germany. So this is an effort to show the Bundeswehr as an attractive employer. There were also some protests against the so-called militarization of the society. Some youth from Berlin were lying down in front of the main stage here, but it was a peaceful protest and police resolved the issue very fast. And the president of the Bundestag, Julia Glöckner, with the chairwoman of this event, said the soldiers are here also to protect the freedom of the protesters.
Yeah, I have a lot that I could say, but I think it would be pretty redundant, and I think I kind of summed up my main point. I was surprised that it was the first nationwide recognized everyone celebrated Veterans Day, and I don't see. I would love to hear a point from one of the protesters who think that there shouldn't be a German Veterans Day. I would like to hear that point, and I would ask if not if not now, then when? And if you say indefinitely, it's like you're treating Germans as some sort of people that are more likely to start some war than another peoples on Earth. And you know from history, that long history, that people can do terrible things, and it's not individual countries that repeatedly do them again and again. It's people do awful things, and you can't be the punching bag for people needing to talk about horrible things forever. And that has to be removed, in my opinion. And the same goes for Japan, in my opinion, that they did horrible things, they were defeated, but when can you stop that? You know what I mean? I would love to hear any opinions on that. Hope everyone's doing well, and I'd love to see any comments down below if you disagree with anything I said, answering any questions I had. You guys are great. Hopefully I'll see you guys next video. Keep on learning. Bye, guys.